What is going on, everybody? Bobby Fire, Eric Sheets-Haber. We're going to be talking about tonight's NBA six-game slate, but a few things to get into. First, great to have Sheets back. Great to see you again, man. And wanted to hear about the live final experience and a few things. I know you have some thoughts and sort of let you take it away, and then we'll get into the slate.
Yeah, I'm going to do a totally separate video on this. The live final experience. I don't know if it's the same as it used to be, or better than it used to be, or worse than it used to be. I don't know. I did meet a couple of the people that I recognize from online, and some of them that didn't go to these things for like quite a long time and stuff like that. The actual like the prelim stuff. I mean, they had a get together, which was fine. I didn't really know anybody, so it was kind of up to me to find who was who, and meet. I brought Stacy, so it was like a little different. The actual live final, I didn't actually do well, so I don't want people to think that my thoughts were are based on that. But
I think anybody who's watched you before would know that that's not where you'd be coming.
No, I think it was terrible. I think that the actual live final experience should have been much different. But that's my theory. Like, is that like there were like 10 TVs, and then there were people that were like watching the games. There was like one little screen with sort of had the lineups on them, really, but I don't know. I was expecting like, I don't want to say like an announcer in the wrong way, but like someone narrating through what's going on in the contest. Like, you know what I mean? It's late swap, so everybody's lineups are locked in. I would have first of all like interviewed all the players. Hey, why'd you pick these guys, or tell me about your experience in DFS, and turn it into like more of a thing than literally just people watching basketball and sort of sweating, and nobody really. There wasn't a lot of like competitive juices about it. I would have expected a little more of that, and but it just goes back to my disappointment with just the ability to live sweat this stuff in general. That I've been kind of struggling with. They should have had like more stuff about the actual DFS contest integrated with it, and had someone from DraftKings, or even I would have done it. Say, dude, we got freaking Maswa's freaking killing it. He only needs this. We have this guy. Oh my God, he's got 64 PMRs and he's behind by 12 points. But there was none of that. There was literally none.
I'm really surprised to hear that, because the way that it used to be for baseball, at least for DraftKings, and other sports, other companies were very different. But the DraftKings one was always an announcer with a giant scoreboard.
Nothing.
And talking about this and that, and it was pretty interesting. And now it sounds like I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't quite get it. And I meant, but I kind of got this like weird vibe that like, oh, it's not the way it used to be, and this whole thing, and then so I don't know. But listen, it was good to meet some of the people there. I got to hang out with Tambo for a while. We'll talk about him. We were speaking to him earlier, later, and I was expecting more. You know what? If you're going to be there anyway, like the live final was a total of 4 hours. They had you there for 3 days. If it were me, and if I were DraftKings, and I'll do a whole video on this, I would have had like a session, like some breakout rooms or something where you had DraftKings there, people like talk to you about their new products and talk to you about DFS stuff, and get input from the players. Hey, what's going on? What do you think about the new late swap stuff? And like, just have like things that like you have your biggest top players there and big players there. They should tell them about the different offerings and things, and they should we had us there for 3 days. Instead of like not making us. Listen, it was cool to chill by the pool or whatever, but if they're paying for your hotel room anyway, I mean, create like little things that they had like 20 people working for DraftKings there. They may as well have did a little more with that. I don't know. That's
no team events or anything. Nothing like that's like there was no basketball. They didn't take you to the basketball game.
No.
Oh man, that's really weird. I've never gone to one of theirs where they didn't take us to a game or something.
No. They gave us the choice of playing golf or a massage.
Oh my God, that is a little.
I don't know. Listen, it is what it is, but I just would have done it differently. All right, let's go. I got to leave in like half an hour.
Let's do it. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. We'll go through these games. Yeah. And I kind of need you back, man, because it's been a really rough stretch.
Well, I have a thought for you, by the way.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a thought. I didn't want to get in your way or whatever.
Yeah.
Listen, rule one: never mess with a person who's won $1 million. But rule two, after a while, I wanted to say something. I personally think that you're asking for trouble with your massive projection updates.
You think there's too many of them?
Yeah, and too strong of them. You know what I mean? I think that you're upping them by too much and demanding a little too much. And I think that you're. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have an opinion. I just think it's a little bit too strong. That's my for basketball. You know, just because the projections are so usually pretty sharp. I was getting the sense that you were going a little bit too like you know. Like,
well, I think so. So my thoughts behind that, and then I think just real quickly, I take 2 seconds, but like this time of the year, I think the projections are completely broken. I like Dennis Schroeder last night with a 38 fantasy point projection as a median. Of course, he scored 18 fantasy points, and he hasn't come close to 37. He's had the same situation come up like 9 times. That was an obvious example.
Well, I think that thing was a timing issue. In other words, like what's his name got ruled out like pretty late.
Cade, yeah.
Yeah, so I think people went, "Whoa, give me all the shoot air." You know what I mean? Like without really thinking about it. And I think that the projections again, like I didn't really do a full run, so I didn't really see
fair enough.
what I think but every once in a while SaberSim will go a little bit crazy with I don't know what Goldie's had or whatever it is or overall the industry, but I
will say primarily it was the chalk that I left that killed me, to be honest. But I hear you out. I think that there's still a point to what you're saying. I got the feeling I was doing it with too many players, and I should tighten my range, which I'm definitely going to do towards the end of the year. But I also feel like the projections have the least idea of what's happening right now of anybody, because these are all unforeseen situations that have never come up before. We're playing players where there are 7 players deep. The guys who have never played in the NBA are going to be the highest scoring player one night off the bench. You know, like last night, nobody had Marcus Sasser projected. I liked him, but I trusted the projections too much not to like him. So there's just a lot of weirdness going on. Anyway, with that said, I definitely think that there's some room for improvement on my part, and I'm ready to move on to.
Yeah, and I think that it's going to be interesting to see. The good thing about baseball is you can't really change a projection. I mean, like it's stupid. You know what I mean? Like you're picking teams. You know what I mean? You'll pick teams. You'll pick low-owned teams, and you'll still do your thing with your creative lineup construction, which I still think is a huge edge. Like not just saying, oh, I'm just picking all 5 mans or whatever, you know, let's do this. But basketball, I just think that to deviate too much from the projections is I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just asking for it. You know what I mean? It's got to be right.
Yeah.
But in fairness, to your point, this time of the season, I think that you have a better chance of getting away with that than not.
Yeah, and also a lot of them on the earlier shows, especially that we do, and I'll just use it today as an example. I know SaberSim is going to bring some of these projections down for Washington.
Right.
Some of them are too high. So sometimes when I'm pointing it out, it's not even that I'm going to have a take. I just know that they're going to come down because the first reactions tend to be the most overreactions, and usually until about 2 Eastern, some of these don't really settle down. Is at least what I've noticed. And right off the bat today, you know, jumping into today's slate with Washington and Philly, which I feel like they've played like every day for like the last 2 months.
Right.
And I think that it's another game that you could argue for stacking, but I just want to remind everybody the dangers of what happens also this time of year. I mean, Scotty Barnes, for example, the other night in a close game, he has 48 and a half at the end of 3 quarters. And in a tight game, they don't play him the 4th quarter. Okay. So teams are trying to tank and lose. And that's also been a really, really hard thing to try to figure out which teams are going to go for it and which teams aren't going to, even like because teams are going to try and win the occasional game they can. And that's partly what I'm running into with Washington also. They will just bench their guys. Jordan Poole got hot the other night, so they just benched him. And I personally would err on the side of playing the young guys in this.
Is that actually what happened?
They benched him for a while, not the entire thing. Well, they said, how about the other one with Philadelphia? They sent the guy down. Toronto. Toronto sent the guy down who literally scored like 30 points back to back, and they sent him back down to the G League for no reason, because except for that he was playing too well. And everybody who had the best plus minus was playing the fewest minutes for them. So it's just it is a real thing that's happening. The other night, Walker Kessler, you know, they bench him in a game because it got close, and then they play him all the minutes in a game where they were getting blown out. It just makes no sense. So it is happening all over the place.
Well, here's an interesting question. So you're getting, So you're getting whatchamacallit. So you're getting all this Washington. Is that what you're saying right now?
Yeah, I'm getting. I think I'm seeing a lot of Washington, and I just feel like the ones I feel the best about are the younger guys, as opposed to maybe Jordan Poole, because this actually feels like a great spot to play Jordan Poole. But I mean, we do have no Kaishan George, and we don't know if Anthony Gill's going to play. But like Vukcevic has been terrific, and even when he hasn't started, he's been terrific. Sarr has been really good, and they've sort of let him come out of his shell a little bit. Washington is now at the point where they can afford to. I mean, they're 3 games up. They're 3 games up for the worst record in the East, and right there for worst record, which just means you have the same amount of balls as the Jazz. So they can win a game here or there if they wanted to. I guess that's the way I'm looking at this one. But also, I see them as just being extreme values. How about you? You're not seeing it?
Interestingly, the reason I ask is I didn't even run projections yet. I just using SaberSim to look at, and I ran builds, and actually the Washington guys are not showing up as the highest owned in my builds. Like I'm getting like 60% of Sarr, but I got other guys like more. So I am getting 25% Vuk, I guess, 21% Colby Jones, 21% Champagne, whatever, and 18% AJ. Never heard of him, Johnson. But yeah, so I'm getting we'll get to other guys in a minute, which I'm getting more of.
Yeah, and it does, it depends on who they start. Obviously, they start Champagne, I think they probably will. But yeah, the Kaishan George thing does open up some more, and to what team that already had some value anyway. Are you getting too much of Philly? Because I think Justin Edwards has been really good lately. The price is creeping up, and I'm also lower on the Jared Butler play than maybe the field will be.
Did Jared Butler ever get there?
I don't know what this, and by the way, he always projects for more than he ever gets to. He got there once. That's all I know.
I mean, not for me, he hasn't.
I feel like it's a little bit fishy. And the one thing I'll just keep going back to though is that the Quentin Grimes thing is absolutely real.
And it is, right?
Yeah, it's not a joke. His usage is like just below Luka's.
Is he 10K yet?
He's 9,100.
En route to 10K.
I am probably going to play him. I mean, the thing is, he's also like a safe-ish play. Like he hasn't been below 42 fantasy points in this role ever. So even if he shoots poorly, he's going to get you 42. It seems, most of the time, and it's a great matchup. So he's the one that of all the things we talked through, he's a guy I actually would put my stamp on bumping up. And that part of what I've been doing has worked out great overall, because that is the one thing that almost won me all the money last week. Of course, I ended up finishing 4th, which means you go from almost having an incredible month in one night to having make your money back basically for a week. Anyway, so he's my favorite one there. Are you getting anything from Philly?
Like you said, Justin Edwards. I'm getting a decent amount of that, like 45% or so, and I'm getting 30% of the aforementioned Jared Butler.
Yeah, okay. And I like you look at the Edwards thing, it makes you feel all safe because he literally has hit 30 every game in this role. So he's never been below. So I like the idea of him and Grimes. All right, then we have the 7:30 games. And by the way, there's going to be late news. I do agree with my overall premise, and that's what cost me a little bit last night, Cheats. I think what killed me last night was I overreacted to the news of
Curry.
They're the first news, the Cade, because I do think the right move was, I said it all day long, my favorite plays are these Cavs who are getting underprojected. Both Garland and Mobley, of course, smashed. Abdia was great on the other side, or good enough anyway. And then we had the Oklahoma City guys who I speculated at least 3 of them would sit. 3 out of the 4 guys all sat, and which made Alex Caruso go completely nuts in 10x his price. Had I just stuck with that take and just continued it and not played that first game, I would have been all right, I think.
Well, I didn't mean the first game. I overreacted to Curry being out and played Butler.
Oh, that one, I had him in one of like my 3 big buy-ins, but it wasn't like.
How can I not play Butler going back to Miami after all that shit?
I know, especially with the only guy there. They just got killed.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'll play that one every time.
Yeah. That one at least I had some of that, but I just over all of the too much of the first game for me. All right, Clippers in New York here. I'm not seeing anything on the Clippers and on the Knicks. Even on a back-to-back, I think that they're more interesting than maybe like the projections say. We've seen sort of that's been the common theme of all the winning lineups has been you've seen some, whatever, multiple players from the same team. And that was the thing last night is not that nobody played Towns or Hart, but not that many people played them together and they both had triple doubles. Now it's not a great matchup, but they're all fairly priced for Brunson being out. So I think the Knicks are probably a little bit better than they look right now. That's all I've got from this game.
What about the Cameron Payne again? I mean, he busted sort of his chalk yesterday, but I think you have to go back and play him again, don't you?
I don't think necessarily you do. And I actually ended up with that's one other thing I did that worked out. He was in 0 of my 3 big buy-in tournaments. There's no rule that says that he's actually the guy they're going to use. What did he play? 19 minutes.
I know that's it.
And they're adding Mitch Rob. Oh no, he played. No, he ended up. I'm sorry, he played 29 minutes. Excuse me, I didn't realize he played that many minutes. He only took 3 shots. He had an 8% usage rate, which is very not like campaign like. I think you're right. I think maybe we should go back. Maybe we should consider a little bit more than I sort of just sloughed it off right there. But yeah, I think campaign is an interesting play tonight. I thought they played him less for some reason. Yeah, I like that idea. Anything else though from this game?
No, I really didn't get too much of anything.
All right, I might look at the Knicks again a little later. I'm just a little bit interested in this situation. Lakers in Indiana should be a fast-paced one, and the Lakers have been struggling and probably shouldn't be favorites tonight, but they are. So what are your thoughts here, Sheets? Is there anything you're getting involved with on either side here?
Well, Lakers, yeah, I am. I'm getting both Luka and LeBron, not in the same lineup, but looks as though I'm getting a decent amount of both of them, like 40% LeBron, 35% Luka, and I guess that's because this other value that exists.
Yeah, with this losing streak, I feel very, very, very interested actually in taking shots on both Luka and LeBron. I agree with you, and I'm just going to point it out. I like this matchup. We've seen point guards just completely torch the Lakers recently. Josh Giddey did you see that game he had the other night? He had 42, 15, 10, and 8 steals. He almost had the first quadruple double in like 35 years. And there's basically been, Halliburton has been one of the best players in the NBA recently. His double assist and point streak is now at a million or whatever it is. So I like Halliburton as the run back, and I wouldn't be opposed to guys like Miles Turner or Pascal Siakam. I think this game and the Knicks side of that game, I think I have a little more interested in the field. All right, then we're going to get a big break before the evening games, and there's a lot to like over there, so that's partly why these are getting ignored. Toronto and Brooklyn, and I'll save a little bit of time here. I don't like these projections, and I don't, whatever we could say. I like the Zaire Williams play. I'm okay with the trend in Watford. I don't want to fall for the D'Angelo Russell bait again. That's where I'm at as of right now. I think it's okay, but I don't think that I need to play him at 40% ownership. So Zaire Williams, some Watford, maybe half the field or lower on Russell, if that. That's pretty much what I have here at the moment.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned that the Washington guys were not showing up as the highest owner of them all, and that's because I was, again, just using the SaberSim projections for now. I'm getting jammed in those 2 guys you mentioned, Trendon Watford and D'Angelo Russell. Listen, this is why I really do like doing partially my own projections and to look at everybody, look at what a lot of the industry says, and put my own spin, not as big of a spin as Bobby does, but a little bit of something, so that I don't get jammed into these plays that just don't seem right for some reason. Right now, I'd be getting my 85% Trendon Watford, 80% D'Angelo Russell, and it's nobody. As I say, Trump has not issued an executive order saying I have to play these guys yet. Not yet.
It wouldn't be the most shocking thing, no.
But it's possible since they're playing like Toronto. Maybe it's like some weird tariff rule or something. you have to play like all these guys against Toronto. I don't know, it's possible. But if we're in Toronto, maybe that's where, because it would be, I don't know. It depends. Maybe there's a difference. Nonetheless, these guys are showing up right now. We'll just have to take a look and see where I am not getting the Zaire Williams though. I'm getting him. He's further down the list for me right now. And I think Tyrese Martin, decent projection. Not great, but not bad. I'm not getting too much on Toronto, though. So, yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah, it's. I think that's where I'm at. And by the way, I would say Scotty Barnes is I think a great play every night like this, as long as Quickly's not there, or as long as one of Quickly or Barrett are out. But look, he played 27 minutes in the last game. He was absolutely crushing, and they just benched him in the fourth quarter in a tight game. So I can't play like that. Like I just get if your guys thriving and the game is close, you don't get a play. It's just too scary. All right, now this is why it's good we go on at 12:15 today. We got Giannis out at 12:11 Eastern. So,
oh really? I didn't see. Okay.
Yeah. So that was right before we came on, and it's because of it, you're gonna get all your value pretty much
okay.
from the Milwaukee side of everything, and I can't disagree with it. And Denver on the other side.
Both these cats are out. I didn't realize.
Yeah, okay. Jokic is out, and then DeAndre Jordan has just been absolutely crushing.
Oh, I didn't know. I know I meant Lillard and Giannis.
Yeah. Lillard and Giannis, and then Jokic on the other side. This feels like, I mean, look, I'm not going to do it, but if you wanted to make if you wanted just to ignore most of the other stuff outside of Brooklyn and whatever value from Washington, Philly, this is probably where you want most of your action from, is my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, this whole game is going to be, riddled with value. Play whoever you want, really. I mean, I imagine that, as usual, what's his name? Portis still playing? I mean,
no, he's suspended.
He's suspended. Oh my God.
He's got drug
problem. Wait, so all these guys are out, and Kuzma's 5,900.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
he could get 60 in it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be shocking. I agree with you.
And Kevin Porter Jr., he ain't shy.
I think Kevin Porter Jr. is the odds-on favorite to have their most fantasy points tonight.
I mean, Rollins, all this. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Okay, here's who I won't play. I don't need to play Gary Trent. Right. I don't need to play Torian Prince.
Agreed.
Don't need to play AJ Green. I do want to play
the other ones. I agree with all that. Yeah.
Kuzma, Porter. I think you got to play these guys.
Even Lopez, I would throw in there.
Lopez. I mean, he's going to get all the rebounds, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, he'll get looks. We've seen him without Giannis have really big games, which people don't seem to realize.
Oh yeah, this game's a shit show. And then Denver on the other side. You tell me Jordan's been killing it.
He's 5K. It's crazy.
It's an annoying one from the live final. We've been waiting forever on this Murray thing, and I didn't play him. I couldn't play him with the questionable tag at lock. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And he did well. And then it also diluted Westbrook because Murray ended up playing.
Right.
Westbrook. Gordon's been questionable every game, but he's been playing every game. He's not 4,500 anymore.
Right.
Because I guess Jordan's been starting, right? Is that what's happening?
Okay. Jordan's been starting.
Okay. Listen, but I'll go right back to Christian Braun, Peyton Watson, all these guys really. Maybe Jamal Murray's a little frothy at 8,600.
Yeah. But I don't think so necessarily.
I don't know.
He gets I mean, the usage is great with that. He's put up 56 and 47 with these other two games without Jokic, and the one play that stands out though to me as a potentially just a pricing, people don't want to play him because of the price. There is definitely enough upside for Westbrook to just completely crush here in two forms. One in like a blowout way, because they could beat the hell out of this Milwaukee team even without even without Jokic. Now they've been struggling. So, but also if it's close, I just feel like this pace and playing against guys like Kevin Porter Jr. and Ryan Rollins, I just feel like it's going to get up and down, and I think that's going to help Westbrook. His price is high, but as a tournament dart, I think there's kind of a reasonable case for him.
This is a funny matchup with DeAndre Jordan and Brook Lopez. No, I mean this is
yeah.
Is Jordan really going to be chasing him out there to the 3-point line? You know, what's going to happen here?
Remember, Gordon's actually been sitting too, so they've been playing Watson. So I would think they would probably put Watson. I don't know how they would do it, to be honest with you, but I don't know. Actually, it's a good question. It's all I know is they've run their offense like through DeAndre Jordan. Everything's a dribble handoff. They high post, dribble handoff, and then he gets an assist for somebody taking a three. That's been what they've been running lately. Anyway, but it's the Aaron Gordon news is pretty huge because Watson becomes in play and Westbrook becomes in play have more heavily if Gordon is out. They all do actually get a bump, but even right now, I think it's really hard to ignore this as being the best game on the slate on both sides.
Yeah. And Boston Phoenix, just on a slate like this, you probably just don't play these guys, right? I mean,
yeah, I don't think that, well, I don't know. I mean, we do have it seems like without Tatum, we should do something.
I guess.
They still have an outside chance at the 1 seed, but they're not going to get it.
Those are expensive, though. I mean, like even Jaylen Brown, 8,900. I mean,
yeah, maybe
Derek White, 8,100. I can't do that. I mean,
yeah, it's true that the pricing is going to keep people off of them, though. So they would be interesting contrarian plays, but I don't have anything that stands out there. I actually do like. I more so like the other side of this game, and I think that not the other side. I've said it every night, and it basically always works. Kevin Durant is going through something right now, and his projection is too low. I'm sorry, I don't care. You cannot convince me that should be his median projection. I also think that it's close for Booker as well. These guys are averaging like 4 points more than this. And then even though it's Boston, it's not like a negative matchup because Boston still plays pretty fast.
Yeah, they still fire it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually think Booker and Durant, I mean, Durant has put up 60 in back-to-back. I think one of those guys, as long as Bradley Beal's out, I'm always going to have a little bit of interest in them. So those would be my favorite contrarian spend ups along with maybe Westbrook. But the main guys are out of the Denver, Milwaukee, Philly, Washington. And then I think that the Lakers-Indiana game is maybe going to get a little bit overlooked. That's where I'm at. But I will post all my stuff once I get a little more feel for this one.
Yeah. So, if you take a look at the FanDuel slate yet?
Yeah, I didn't actually run any builds yet, but
Is it the same thing though, or
same number of games, same games and everything?
Oh, okay.
It's going to be generally the same like outlook. It's just this, Brooke Lopez makes even a little bit more sense over there, that kind of a thing. And trying to see if there's anybody who's significantly higher. It's not a crazy difference. Luka Luka definitely makes more sense over there because it's easier to get in and he's cheaper. LeBron is way too cheap. He's 9,400. So you'll probably get like 60% of them if you're running through SaberSim right now. Those are the main ones, I think. And then Aaron Gordon's a great play if he plays. If he doesn't play, all of Denver gets a bump and it just looks like a Milwaukee Denver. That's the game you target. All right, man. Well, great to have you back. Be live at 6 Eastern, and we've got
hang in there with me.